Man, let's see here. Let's let everyone know that we're live. Send out a couple notifications there to the Discord. Pull up some comments. There we go. We're on the ball today. Make sure the mic is working. That's always a good thing to do. All right. I believe we are good to go, chat. I believe we are good to go, chat. How is everyone today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Beautiful Tuesday. Welcome, chat. How's everybody doing? Stop playing by anxiety's rules. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And also, my tongue does not have that raw spot in it anymore from my tooth, so I'm not talking with a lisp today. And it's actually not painful to stream today, so that's great. Sanchez, the new mod. What's up, dude? What's up, Sanchez? Hope you're having a good one. What's up, Z? What's up, Z? What's up, Sean? Welcome, dude. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, everybody. Stop playing by anxiety's rules. That's what we're going to be talking about today. The bluff state, as we've been calling it, the trick state. I like the trick state. I like saying that because it's so accurate. When you're triggered and you're in the anxiety state, it's almost like it's not the real you. Can anybody relate to that? It's almost like it's not the real you at all. So I love that. I love calling it the trick state because when you put that right here and you hold that for just a minute and you start to realize, wait a minute, this isn't the real me. Yes, yes, it does feel completely real while I'm in it. I'm not denying that. It does feel completely real while I'm in it. But if you just hold on to the truth, which is what we're going to be talking about today, if you just hold on to the truth that this is not the real you, that you're being pulled by these compulsions, you're being told things by the anxiety mentally, you're feeling things by the anxiety physically, but it's simply not the real you at the end of the day. And then we're going to talk about how getting out of this state getting out of this state and moving on with your life has a lot to do by with not playing by anxiety's rules. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. What's up, Elliot? I had a rough couple days with a little setback in quotation marks. I like that you don't like that word either, but I'm just letting it ride, trying to use the techniques. Good, good, good. Margaret, what's up? Olivia, have been doing so well, and today tricks are back full force. I'm glad you guys are calling them out for what they are. I'm glad I'm seeing the term setback in quotations. I'm glad I'm seeing the word trick. I'm glad I'm seeing you guys call it out for what it really is. Now, it's great because you don't have to like it, right? We say that all the time. I'm not asking anybody to do the impossible. You don't have to like anxiety and the tricks that it pulls. But the fact that you're aware of it and you're doing things like putting the term setback in quotations and using the word trick tells me that you're at least aware of what's going on. And being aware of what's going on is huge. Being aware of what's going on is huge. No, I don't think so, Sean. All right, guys, we've already got a handful of people in here, so why don't we just go ahead and jump into it? Stop playing by anxiety's rules. Now, as I was just saying, the fact that people are putting the term setback in quotations and they're using terms such as trick, that tells me that you guys are aware of what's going on, which is half of the battle. Being aware of what's going on is half of the point here. You have to be aware of what's going on so that on those days, on those days when you're triggered, on those days when you're in the anxiety state, and like we were saying when this stream first started, there's a huge difference between the real you that's not triggered and the anxiety state. And when you're in that anxiety state, you're going to feel the urge, and usually it's a strong urge, to give in to all sorts of compulsions that simply are not the real you. Now, these compulsions can be a number of things. It could be all those protective measures that you take to protect yourself. It can be fighting with those thoughts and giving those thoughts credit, even though you know they're just totally irrational. It can be a number of things. But when you are in the anxiety state, which simply means when the anxiety is turned on, right? When the anxiety is turned on, you are going to feel the urge to do these things. You are going to feel the urge to argue with these thoughts. You are going to feel the urge to give these thoughts importance. Why? Because the body is giving them importance. But why is the body giving them importance? The body is giving them importance simply because the anxiety is turned on. If the anxiety was not turned on, which is to say, if you weren't in a triggered state, if you weren't in the anxiety state, your body would give these thoughts no importance, right? Now that's the real you. So when you are having these days, or whatever the case may be, wherever you are in your recovery, and you are in that anxiety state, you have to be aware of the bluff. And you have to be aware then that you are playing by anxiety's rules, and where retraining really happens, where showing the brain the truth, as we like to call it, really happens, where you start to rewire that brain. It happens when you stop playing by anxiety's rules. So, now what have we covered already? When you're in the anxiety state, it's not the real you. You realize you're being bluffed. You realize you're being tricked. You realize that the body's only giving these thoughts importance because you're triggered, yada, yada, yada. So now you have to realize whether or not you are playing by anxiety's rules. And if you are playing by anxiety's rules, which means to give in to all these compulsions like fighting with these thoughts, giving these thoughts importance, not living your life like you would normally live it, like you want to live it, right? Because you're in the anxiety state. When you realize, right, that you are playing by anxiety's rules, it's time to understand two things. It's time to understand that one, I'm being tricked. This is not the real me. This is a bluff. It feels very real. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. It feels very real, but this is not the real me. I'm simply in the anxiety state. And number two, it's time to play by my rules. I'm no longer playing by anxiety's rules. So anxiety says you must do this, you must do that in order to ensure your safety. You must argue with these thoughts, you must give these thoughts importance because look how they're making us feel. Anxiety says stop doing the things you enjoy today. Anxiety says lay in bed 24 hours today. Anxiety says you can't do this today. Anxiety says I won't allow you to do this today. The list goes on and on and on and on, right? And unknowingly, right, we tend to give into that and we tend to play by anxiety's rules. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. If you want to retrain your brain, if you want to show your brain, if you want to show your amygdala, which by the way, you can't argue with that, right? You can't argue with the amygdala. You can't say, stop triggering me, right? If it was that easy, none of us would be here, right? You can't argue with your amygdala. You have to show your amygdala that all is well. What is the amygdala? It's the part in your brain that's responsible for the anxiety response, right? So when you're having those days where the anxiety is high, when you're having those days when the anxiety is turned on, when you're having those days where you're triggered, you can't sit in bed and argue with your amygdala and say, don't trigger me. It's not buying it. If that worked, none of us would be here, right? So you have to show your brain. You're responsible for this. You have to show your brain. You have to show your amygdala that all is well. And what is the only language? We've talked about this a lot in the past. What is the only language that the amygdala speaks, right? It's behavior. So basically, that's why it comes down to the two main keys. Since you can't just tell the amygdala to be quiet, then you're wasting your time fighting and arguing with all these thoughts. You're wasting your time. You just need to accept that you're triggered. Stop fighting with these thoughts. That's one of the two main keys. What is the other two main key? Living life, behaviors. And what does that mean? Does that mean you have to run around in a panic and fill your day full of activities? Absolutely not. It simply means do the things that you would normally do if you weren't triggered. Bada bing, bada boom. That's basically what that means. Don't think you have to fill your days. Oh, I got to pack my days full of things in order to teach my. It just means you're triggered. Accept that you're triggered. Accept that it's a retraining day. Sometimes we call it that here on the channel. Accept that it's a retraining day and live your life. That means doing things that you would normally do if you weren't triggered, such as getting on with your day, whether that be listening to your favorite music or talking to your friends or getting those chores done or being productive or whatever the case may be. You don't have to rush around in a panic, but just live your life like you normally would, right? Don't bow to the anxiety, and like the title of this stream says, stop playing by anxiety's rules. So while you're triggered and you're having an anxious day, you're going to be very tempted to play by anxiety's rules. You're going to be very tempted to pamper to it. You're going to be very tempted to hold its hand and do what it wants you to do. But instead, we're going to play by our rules now, right? And that's where the real retraining starts. That's where the real work starts. That's where the real rewiring of the brain starts. When you start to play by your own rules instead of playing by anxiety's rules. Now, do you have to be perfect at this? We've been saying this a lot here recently. No, you don't have to be perfect at this. In fact, you can take baby steps. You can crawl if you want to at first. But understand that as you start to use the two main keys, which is get back into living life, right? You don't have to be happy-go-lucky 24/7. You don't have to be throwing a party 24/7. It simply means just get back into living, right? And stop fighting with the thoughts, because that's a pointless. Again, you cannot tell the amygdala to stop triggering you. You're wasting your time. You're just giving it importance. You're just dumping gas on the fire, right? So that's why the two main keys are what they are. Live your life and stop fighting with the thoughts. Now, as you do this, I want you to kind of hold on to the truth here. It's going to help you tremendously if you hold on to the truth and simply remind yourself, today I'm triggered. Today I'm in the anxiety state, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Today I'm triggered. Today I'm in the anxiety state. That's fine. It's time to put in some work. It's time to retrain my brain by not fighting with all these thoughts and giving them importance, because if I wasn't in the anxiety state, they wouldn't matter anyway. So as you hold on to this truth and you start to live your life and you start to play by your own rules and you start to just accept that you're having an anxiety day, a triggered moment, whatever, and you start to implement those two main keys, living your life and not giving those thoughts so much importance, because remember, if you weren't in the anxiety state, they wouldn't matter anyway, right? So as you start to implement these two main keys, I want you to hold on to that truth. This is not the real me anyway. I'm triggered. I accept that fully, but I'm not going to play by anxiety's rules today, right? Because I can sit around. I can sit around and be bitter about this and be frustrated about this and be upset about this, and I can start worrying about this and I can start obsessing about this and I can start trying to figure it all out. There's nothing to figure out, but I can do all that, which is playing by anxiety's rules. Or I can play by my own rules today. I might not like it. I might not be comfortable. I'm not asking you to like it. I'm not asking you to even be comfortable. But you have a choice. You know this is not the real you. We already know the facts. The facts are laid out. You know this is not the real you. You know that you're in an anxiety day, a triggered day. You know that 2 weeks ago I was feeling better than this. You know that 2 months ago, or however long it's been, you know this is not the real you. You already know the facts. Now it's time to play by your own rules. And that's what the title of this stream is all about. Stop playing by anxiety's rules, because when you play by anxiety's rules, you just reinforce to the brain, to the amygdala, that there's a need for alarm. You just reinforce to the brain, to the amygdala, that there is a need to be triggered. You just reinforce to the amygdala that there's a problem, right? So two things I want you to take from this stream. I'll go over them really quickly again, very briefly. Two things I want you to take from this stream. Number one, this is not the real you. You know that you're just triggered, and it's time to accept that. You know that this is just the anxiety state. It's time to accept that. Number two, remember, you're playing by your rules now, right? Especially on those days where you're triggered, because that's when the brain's learning the most. You're playing by your rules, and you don't have to like it, and you don't even have to be comfortable, but you're playing by your rules now. You're playing by your rules now, right? So for so long, for so many, we play by anxiety's rules. Anxiety says, I'm triggered, you need to seek shelter immediately, right? Red flag, red flag. You need to do these safety-seeking behaviors immediately. You need to fight with these thoughts and figure them out immediately. You need to take this negative action immediately. That's anxiety's rules. And for so long, we've played by anxiety's rules. And that's why we continue to reinforce to the brain, to the amygdala, that there's a problem where there's not. So from here on out, you play by your rules, right? Here on out, you play by your rules. There's no more playing by anxiety's rules, especially on those days when you're triggered, when the brain needs to learn. There's no more playing by anxiety's rules. And that is the main point of today's stream, guys. So as you move forward, as you implement those two main keys, what are the two main keys? Living life, get back into living your life. Stop giving those thoughts importance, because they wouldn't matter anyway, even if you weren't triggered. They wouldn't matter anyway if you weren't triggered, right? So they're pointless. It's pointless to give them fuel. It's pointless to give them importance. You're wasting your time. So as you move forward and implement those two main keys, living life and no longer giving so much importance to those thoughts, you got to have both. You need to go with both here. Okay? So as you move forward with those two main keys, just getting back into your life a little bit, if you have to take baby steps, that's fine, and not fighting with those thoughts. I want you to remember that one thing. You are playing by your rules now. You're no longer playing by anxiety's rules. You may have to face some growing pains. That's fine. It's no worse than the cycle you're already in, right? All right, guys, that was the point of today's stream. I hope it motivates somebody. I hope somebody takes something from it, gets you back on track or gets you started wherever you are in your journey, right? Thomas, I don't know if you remember me, but I've got some progress. That's awesome, dude. Keep it up. Almost fully recovered than this stupid quotation mark setback. But I guess it's a positive if it took that long for something to. Exactly. So just continue to sharpen your skills because it's not a problem. It never was a problem. It's not a problem now, right? So just continue to sharpen those skills. You got this. It'll be a thing of the past in no time. It'll be a thing of the past in no time. These things happen. Sometimes we have to sharpen our skills. Sometimes we got a little bit more retraining to do. That's fine. You can continue to drive it home now. So look at it as something that you can get excited about, right? Rather than something that you absolutely dread and can't. Oh, I can't believe. You know the whole. You know the deal, right? Guys, make sure if you enjoyed the streams that you leave a like. It really does help the channel grow, and we are so close to that 10K mark. Guys, we are so close to that 10K mark. Let's see exactly where we are because I am not sure. 9,839. Oof, we are getting close, man. We are getting real close. To Rocky Mountain, got motorcycle license and driver license, can go out and around, been around since one. That's awesome, dude. You came in and you said I've got some progress. That is more than just some progress, dude. That is amazing. Congrats. That is way more than just some progress. That is a lot of progress. Keep it up, dude. Playing by your own rules, right? Playing by your own rules. That's what it's all about. especially on those days where you're feeling triggered, dude. You're playing by your own rules now, and that's what matters. And that might feel like you're putting yourself out there a little bit. It might not be exactly comfortable at times, but you're playing by your own rules now. So that's how the brain's going to learn. You have to accept the fact that you're triggered, right? You have to accept the fact that you're triggered and you're in the anxiety state, and you have to accept the fact that the anxiety state is going to warp the way that you think and feel. But despite all of that, you play by your own rules now, right? Despite all of that, you play by your own rules now. So, you like I said, it's so important that you have to accept that you're in the anxiety state, so it's going to warp the way that you think and feel. So therefore, you already are aware of the bluff, and that's very important. And then you have to start playing by your own rules. That's the main point of today's stream. Be aware that you're triggered, that you're in the anxiety state, that it's going to warp the way that you think and feel. And then you have to remember that, well, what do I do about this? I accept it. I accept it because resistance is fuel. And then I play by my own rules. And then I play by my own rules, right? If that's all that you take from this stream, and if that's all that you remember from this stream, then congrats, you got exactly the point that I was trying to make today. So 10K party, we need to do something, dude. Like I keep saying, we need to. I don't know what yet, but we'll do something. I'm sure we'll figure it out. We'll try to figure it out. Man, we are close though. We're like almost a buck 50 away from that 10K. Almost a buck 50 away from that 10K, dude. It's right around the corner. I'm also, while I'm here, I'm going to drop the Discord link, guys. If you want to join us over on the Discord, the Nightbot will drop that in just a second. Completely free to join us on the Discord. Also, make sure you check out Twitter, Instagram, Vacate Fear. I've been trying to make sure to remind people of that more often now because I never even bring it up. So why not? I've been trying to bring it up more often. We do have Twitter and Instagram, Vacate Fear. If I'm 5'11.7, can I round it up to 6? I would, dude. Why not? I would. You might as well. You close enough, right? Close enough, man. Just round that shit up, dude. Let's see. Let's turn on some music here since we're not doing anything. Try to pick something different today. Try to pick something different that we haven't listened to a whole lot. I know the same old music kind of gets redundant. Alright, is that working? Ooh, that's like intense. That's like intense music, okay. There we go, okay. Winter Bro, does all of it become funny at the end? Triggers I used to have 2 weeks ago make no sense. Yeah, I mean, that tends to happen because just like we were talking about earlier, you're no longer in the anxiety state, or at least as much as you were. So, the thing is, when you're no longer in the anxiety state, when you're no longer triggered, these things become pretty much meaningless or pointless, or at least not important. Sometimes they just become downright laughable. Sometimes they just become downright laughable. So the thing is, you got to be aware of that when you're in it, especially while you're in it. Like, that's the most important part. Being aware of that while you're in it. That while you're in the anxiety state, things are going to seem way more important than they are. Things are going to seem so life or death. And then once you get out of that triggered state by using and implementing the two main keys, living your life regardless of how you feel, you make your own rules now and stop giving those thoughts as much importance, right? As you use those two main keys and you start to step out of that triggered state, that anxiety state, it does, a lot of things do start to become laughable because it's like two different people. It's like two different people. The anxiety state doesn't have to make sense, and it doesn't, right? So that's why when we step out of it, we're like, what was I so worried about, right? So it's really important that you remember that while you're in it, especially while you're in it. So that can help you kind of see through the bluff, and you can start to play by your own rules. But I'm glad you're doing better, dude. That's awesome. I hope that answered your question. Hope that cleared it up for you. It's kind of funny because, like, while you're in it, it just feels so real. It just feels so real, but you can still hold on to that truth though. You can still make it a point to hold on to that truth despite how real it feels, that this is not you, right? This is not your normal state of being. So there's no need to give it importance. It's so important you hold on to that, especially while you're in it. Oh no, we got an ad, but I caught it right in time. Cool, cool. That was close. That was close, chap. What is that on? Is that like a speck of paint or something? That's not coming off. That's not coming off. I don't know what that is. But I'm glad you asked that question, Fish, because I love talking about that topic. I love talking about that topic because it's so true. It's so true. When you start to come out of that anxiety state by, living your life and not fighting with those thoughts so much, when you really start to come out of the anxiety state, some of these old triggers become laughable, dude. It's like night and day. It's really what's a good word? It's really just amazing how that works, just how the brain and body works like that. And it's hard to see that while you're in it. It's really hard to see that while you're in it. So it's good to give yourself little reminders from time to time. There's nothing wrong with these little positive reminders from time to time, right? Not a fan of this song. There we go. I've always liked this one. I wish we had a bigger music selection. What's up, Jesse? How you doing, dude? Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good one. Welcome, welcome. A lot of people just absolutely feel like they can't play by their own rules, and that's the problem. You got to find that inner power, that inner strength. Even if you have to start with baby steps, once you start to play by your own rules, man, you get that confidence going. You'll get that confidence going. You might start with zero confidence, but you'll get it going. Oh, you like comparing yourself to the movies you watch? Trust me, dude, as you start to come out of the anxiety state little and little, like little by little, you'll start to realize that there's a lot in life that we tend to take for granted, But I know while you're in the anxiety state, while you're feeling triggered, it's kind of hard to muster those feelings of gratitude. But see if you can, even just in little ways. That's a little tip for you to throw in there, throw into your journey there. See if you can get that gratitude going, even just for the little things, dude. But also keep in mind that, as like I said, as you start to come out of that anxiety state, I did not catch that ad in time. As you start to come out of that anxiety state, you're gonna realize that life's a lot better than you think it is right now. Life's a lot better than the way that you think and feel in the anxiety state right now. It's just hard to see with the anxiety there. But again, I know that can feel so real while you're in it. It can feel so real while you're in it. Oh yeah, that's what the mind in the anxiety state does. It searches for things. It looks for things. That's why I say it's pointless to fight with one, because normally it just tries to find something else. So you're wasting your time and stressing yourself out, right? That's why I like to say that, because it just kind of looks for things. So that's why I always say it's pointless. That's one of the many reasons why I say it's pointless. But yeah, I mean you're right. When you're in that anxiety state, that tends to be the way that that works. So, just one of many reasons why it's pointless to even go there with it. Just live your life instead. Don't give it as much importance what's going on mentally. You gotta chalk it up. You gotta see that bluff. You gotta chalk it up for what it is. And then, as the title of this stream says, start to play by your own rules, right? Start to play by your own rules, man. All right, guys, we're gonna switch to post stream for a minute. If I don't knock everything over first. That was close. That was real close. Alright, let's get comments pulled up. Where are they at? Where are they at? There we go. There we go. I'm glad you made that comment though, Sean. That's one of our key points that we like to use to persuade people to stop giving that mind game so much importance when in the anxiety state. Because it's pointless, man. It's like it just searches for things. Well, it's not necessarily that you're trying to stop thinking about your triggers. It's that you're allowing intrusive negative thoughts to come and go, but then you're just living your life. You just get back into living your life instead of fighting so much with the triggers. You just accept that you're triggered, right? Instead of dumping gas on the fire. So I'm sitting around, I've got all these triggering thoughts coming. Okay, I'm just going to keep living my life regardless. They might still be there. I can't force them out because that's just a stressful thing to try to do. I just accept that my mind and body is currently in this state and that my mind is sending me these triggering thoughts. I accept them, but I keep moving forward and play by my own rules, right? Regardless of the triggers, I'm just embracing, facing, and accepting and living my life, proving to my brain that this is all BS, right? So you gotta, it's not so much about trying to avoid anything, it's about playing by your own rules. You accept the way that you're currently thinking and feeling, but you're not adding to, which means you say, okay, I'm triggered, I accept these feelings as being triggered, as part of being triggered, and I accept these thoughts for what they are, but I'm not gonna fight with them, I'm just gonna live my life and play by my own rules, right? That's how your brain starts to learn that these triggers aren't dangerous, right? So start getting obsessed with life, right? While you're triggered, while you've got these thoughts, while you've got these feelings, you're not fighting against them. You accept that this is the reality right now, but you're playing by your own rules. I can't stress that enough. You are playing by your own rules now. And at first, that might not be comfortable, but it's no worse than the state that you're already keeping yourself in. Because, I mean, we can try to fight these triggers, but you see how far that gets you. You wouldn't be here right now if fighting with your triggers worked. So we need to instead turn, face, embrace, and accept. Okay, this is the state that I'm in. My body's doing this. My thoughts are saying this. Okay, great. I'm just going to keep playing by my own rules. I'm just going to keep playing by my own rules instead of dumping gas on the fire. We spend a lot of time trying to fight with, and that's what, that's what ends you up here on the channel, right? Because that apparently didn't work. Apparently does not work. So we need to retrain the brain. We need to teach the brain that these aren't dangers. And how we do that? Two main keys. We play by our own rules. We live our life and we stop fighting with it all because we realize it's a bluff. That's awesome, Fee. It just kind of goes to show you, when you get back into life. When you get back into life, you start living despite the way that you think and feel. The brain will catch up. It'll catch up. When we face, accept, embrace, stop fighting with, live life. I know in some moments it's easy to be like, oh shit, I'm so triggered. I'm so triggered. I'm just gonna put the brakes on everything, and I'm gonna play by anxiety's rules because I'm just so triggered, right? Right? I know it's easy, like super easy to do that sometimes. I mean, and that's why you have the issue with it that you have. That's the game that we all accidentally played for a long time. That's why things got the way they got, but that can be reversed. That can be reversed by accepting the way that you feel, right? I'm in the anxiety state, whatever, whatever. It's going to warp the way that I think and feel. I accept that, but I'm playing by my own rules now. Slowly, that brain is going to catch up. I know you can't see it right now. Some of you can't see it right now in the current states that you're in, but that's how that game works. That's how you train that amygdala. You can't just lay in bed 24 hours a day and say, stop. The amygdala doesn't listen to that, right? You're just dumping gas on the fire. There's no connection between the frontal cortex, your thinking mind, and the amygdala that says just kidding. There's no just kidding button. So once you're triggered, you're triggered. And it's time to accept that. It's time to accept that the anxiety, it's going to play on the way that you think. It's going to play on the way that you feel. But you accept that for what it is and try to add as little gas as possible and live your life. That's the two main keys in a nutshell right there. Live your life so that the amygdala has a chance to see you overcoming, facing, and accepting, and you're proving to it that there's no real danger, and you're no longer fighting with the thoughts, right? Because that's pointless. You're not going to get anywhere by doing that anyway. Because again, there's no connection. So there's no way you can tell the amygdala, okay, I'm just kidding. It's time to accept that you're in this temporary state and then live your life so that you can prove to your brain that all is well instead of trying to think your way out of it, which is just gas on the fire, gas on the fire. No, you just need to accept that right now this is the way I'm thinking, this is the way that I'm feeling. It's due to the anxiety state. I'm just going to add as little gas as possible, live my life, my brain will catch up, right? Which is exactly what Fee in the chat, for example, has done, and now is feeling so much better, you know? When not long ago, he was definitely not feeling that way, but, you know. What's up, Abel? Good to see you, dude. Hey, man, I'm glad it's helpful, Elliot. You got to look at it as a game, man. You got to get excited for it. You got to get excited for the retraining instead of seeing it as such a horrible experience. I know it's not exactly fun, to say the least. I know it's not exactly comfortable, but you gotta first realize, like I said, that you're just in the anxiety state and that it's gonna affect the way that you think and feel. You've got to accept that without pouring so much gas on that, and then just live your life. The brain will catch up. The brain will catch up. I mean, this is what you've done before. Obviously, you've seen it work firsthand. So now you just got to re-implement that and just step it up, and keep it going. So yeah, Nightbot's awesome, dude. I love Nightbot. He's such a good boy. Nightbot's such a good boy. Sanchez! Sanchez with the $15 tip, dude. Dude, I appreciate it. Dude. I appreciate it, Sanchez. Thank you so much, dude. Shout out Sanchez in the chat, man. Can we get some emojis going? Can we get some emojis from my boy Sanchez? Thank you for the $15 tip, man. I appreciate it. It really means a ton to me. Thank you, thank you. We should always be grateful for our tippers. Thank you so much for that. Get those emojis going, chat. Let's show some love to Sanchez, man. Let's show some love. Come on, chat. Come on, chat. Don't leave me hanging, chat. Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging, chat. There's always a slight delay in the stream and chat. So it's like once I say drop the emojis, I just wait for it because I know it's coming. Because I know it's coming. I know this is a little off topic. I promise we won't get too off topic. I just want to ask the chat real quick. Has anybody played the new Resident Evil Village? I've been playing it for what, like a few days now or something like that. It's really good, dude. It's really good. If you're a gamer and you're into Resident Evil or survival horror or whatever, Resident Evil Village, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly though, I'll be honest. I think I preferred the setting of Resident Evil 7 at the farmhouse. That creeped me out a little bit more than the whole castle thing. But still, nonetheless, good game, man. I recommend it. I recommend it. Oh, you've seen the Resident Evil movies? I don't think I've actually sat down and watched them all the way through, to be honest. Good old Nightbot. Good old Nightbot, guys. I'm going to drop the link to the Discord one more time. Discord's completely free, guys. Completely free to join. It's okay to have support. It's okay to have a bit of a crutch while you're getting back into life, while you're accepting the triggers, while you're accepting the way that you think and feel right now, not adding so much gas and just living your life, man. Playing by your own rules. Playing by your own rules. It's okay to have a bit of support and a crutch while you do this, and that's what the Discord is for. But I will say, if you're going to join us over on Discord, don't use it as a 24-hour coping method, guys. And that's not going to help you. Don't use it as a 24-hour coping method. Just pop in, get your support, pop out, go live your life, right? It's okay to have that, little bit of support. It's okay to have that crutch. That's why we're all here for each other in this community. But at the same time, you don't want to rely too heavily on it, right? You want to make sure that you're still living your life and playing by your own rules in the meantime, okay? Sanchez coming through, man. Sanchez has came through a lot, dude. I appreciate Sanchez. He's a good dude. Of Halo 3, I feel you, bro. I loved Halo 3. I loved Halo 3. Don't worry, man. Life gets better. It gets better. You're in this temporary state, and I know it's so hard for you to accept the fact that it is temporary, but you need to accept the fact that this is a temporary state. That's part of acceptance, right? And you need to accept that this state kind of messes with the way that you think and feel, and that's okay. And then just get back into living your life and play by your own rules, dude. Play by your own rules. You might not necessarily feel like it, but it's better than staying where you are, right? And you have that inner power, you have that inner strength. Find it. It's there, right? Even if you can't feel it. Even if you can't feel it, it's there. You've got all that you need still left in you to continue living, to show your brain the truth, to rewire your brain, and to start playing by your own rules instead of playing by fucking anxiety's rules, right? You got it. It's in you. It might not feel like it, but it's in you. Trust me. Even if you have to take a little baby step here and there, right? Sanchez, my boy, man. Sanchez is my boy. What is this song right now? It's actually it's actually pretty good. I like it. It's kind of catchy. All of a sudden, man, all of a sudden the music just like copyright free music over here just dropping bombs, dude. It's actually pretty good. All right. Okay. Okay. Chill. Chill. Yup, with Wonder Bro advice, my baby steps became big steps. That's how it happens, dude. I never tell anybody they got to be perfect at this. You're going to have your days, man, where you still give in to compulsions. Maybe you Google too much. Maybe you spend too much time in bed. Maybe you spend too much time adding all this second fear. What is second fear? Fighting with it all mentally. Maybe you have those days, and that's fine. But these baby steps become big steps. That's how it works. There's nothing wrong with taking baby steps. It's a temporary state, man. You got to accept that this state is playing with your mind. It's playing with your feelings, dude. You got to accept that. You got to accept that you're going to be easily triggered. You got to accept that you are triggered. You got to accept that this is playing with your thoughts. It's playing with your thinking. It's playing with your feelings. First and foremost, you have to accept that. And then you got to get into doing the work, which is playing by your own rules. Living your own life. Even though you don't necessarily feel like it, your brain's going to catch up, dude. It's going to catch up. Glad to stop by. Love you all. And remember, this is temporary. We shall get you at yes. Yes. So much yes. So much yes. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by, dude. I'm so glad for people like you, man. It really broadens your perspective. I watched you 2 years ago when I was going through health anxiety, and you were my light. Hey, I appreciate it, Sean. I know it's frustrating sometimes, dude. But like I said, before anything, we have to just come to terms with, and we have to come to acceptance with the fact that we are in this temporary state. There has to be acceptance of the fact that you're in this temporary state so that you can see through the bluff. There has to be acceptance of the fact that right now you are triggered and that you are going to have thoughts that you normally wouldn't have. You're going to have feelings you normally wouldn't have. You're going to think in a way that you normally wouldn't think. And it's going to seem like it's life or death. This is anxiety. That's what it's supposed to do. Get your ass moving. Unfortunately, it's just a little out of whack right now. But first and foremost, we have to accept that this state is going to make us think and feel a certain way that's just not us. And then once we accept that for the bluff that it is, we start to play by our own rules. And as we start to play by our own rules, and we stop fighting with it all as much, and we just start living by our own rules, the brain will say, hey, I guess there's not a real danger. Bring the alarm down. And then you end up like Fee in the chat, laughing about what he used to be triggered about, not even 2 weeks ago. Because you started to play by your own rules. You started to accept that this is the way that you temporarily think and feel. It's because of the anxiety state. And then you stopped fighting with it as much and just started living your life for you, which doesn't mean that you have to rush around in a panic. It just means live your life like you normally would. Even while you're triggered and you're not dumping as much gas on the fire, your brain will catch up. And that's what it's all about, dude. That's what it's all about. You just got to get going. You got to get started. That's probably the biggest piece of advice today. You just got to get going. You got to get started in little or big ways. That means doing things that you normally enjoy, even if it's just something small today. Just get that ball rolling, right? Get back into living for you, playing by your own rules. And the brain will start to realize, hey, he's no longer playing. He or she is no longer playing by my rules. Look at them. They're not fighting with these thoughts as much. They're just doing what they want to do, right? They're watching that movie they like. They're doing that thing they like. They're playing by their own rules, even though they feel like this. Well, I guess there's no problem. I guess there's no problem here. And then that alarm will slowly start to come down. Those nerves will heal, dude. Does bro need food money? Hey, bro, tips are always optional, Jesse. They're always optional, dude. You don't have to feel obligated to tip around here. How you been, Jesse? How you been? What is your role on the Discord? King of the North? King of the North? What's up, dude? So I'm gonna start calling you now, King of the North. Is that a Game of Thrones reference or something? It's gotta be, right? It's gotta be, right? Now, guys, just to kind of sum up my point that I was making there, you might not necessarily feel like playing by your own rules, but you really have two choices when it comes to recovery and retraining. Play by anxiety's rules or play by your rules. And as you start to choose you start to play by your own rules, things will start to fall into place. This is how the brain learns. King in the North. So it's not King of the North, it's King in the North? Okay, got it. I'll make a note of that. I'm pretty sure I said it to King of the North, though. Oh well. Either one works, right? Jesse Ventura. Holy smokes. Holy smokes, guys. Yeah, man, you know, once you get to that point in your recovery where you're like, it doesn't really matter as much anymore, you're just like, okay, I accept that this is the way I think and feel right now. This is a part of the bluff, and I'm playing by my own rules. Once you get to that point, ooh, that's sweet. That's sweet. That's sweet. Good stuff. Good stuff. You should all be proud of the steps that you've taken, even if it doesn't feel like you've taken very big steps right now. You should be proud of yourself. I'm naming my son Jesse James. Guys, if you're watching this right now, I've been saying this a lot recently. If you're watching this right now and you're looking for a sign to hit the subscribe button, this is your sign. This is your sign. Don't you want to be one of the lucky numbers, dude? We're so close to 10K. Go ahead and claim your spot. Go ahead and claim your spot as one of the lucky numbers. Hit subscribe. We are close. We are close. I couldn't have done it without you guys. So close, man. What did I say earlier? That we're like $1.50 away or something like that. It's close, dude. It's close. And as this stream goes off, guys, whenever we end this stream, live your life. Live your life. Play by your own rules. Play by your own rules and accept the fact that you're in this temporary state that's just kind of messing with your thinking and your feelings a little bit, but that's just a part of the game. See the game for what it is and go kick its ass, right? Go kick its fucking ass, okay? Okay, chat? You've all got it in you, every single one of you. Don't be bluffed. Don't be bluffed. Eventually they'll pull through, Sean. Either they'll do some research for themselves and they'll figure it out, or eventually, with a stroke of luck and just acceptance because they have no other choice, they'll pull through. Eventually they'll pull through. Don't worry about anyone else right now. You worry about yourself, man. And you play by your rules. You play by your rules. Understand you're being bluffed. Understand it's all amplified just because you're triggered. This is not the real you. Play by your rules. play by your own rules. You need the king to send you some gold, King of Wonder. So we're both kings now. We're in our own kingdoms. I love Jesse, dude. If the music is ever too loud, you just have to let me know, guys. Have you ever played Oblivion, Wonder Bro? Amazing game. I love Oblivion. Such a good game. I remember playing that like right around the time it first came out. I was so impressed. I was just blown away. At the time, it was breathtaking, right? Never really seen anything like it before. But I love all the Elder Scroll games. I never really played Morrowind, but I love all the Elder Scroll games. Skyrim, Oblivion. I say all of them. There's like 6 of them if you count the really, really old ones. I don't know if there's 6, but it's something like that. I say all of them, and when I say all of them, I literally just mean Skyrim and Oblivion. I love those two. Ugh. Yeah, it was amazing for the time, dude. It was like gamers had never seen anything like it before. Truly, they hadn't. Mind-blowing. This playlist is actually pretty good today. I just bought Skyrim. Any tips? It has mods now. I don't really mess around with mods a whole lot, but Skyrim is honestly not that hard of a game, dude. Honestly, unless you crank the difficulty up, if you just play it at like base difficulty, it's not that hard of a game. Trust me, you don't need any tips. I don't mean that as a bad thing. It's just, it's a pretty easy game. You won't die a whole lot, to be honest, unless you run into some giants and get stepped on and kicked across the map. You probably won't die a whole lot in Skyrim. Damn, I missed the stream. It's alright, dude. We're just hanging out. It'll be uploaded later, so you can always catch it then. The main point of today's stream was just play by your own rules. Play by your own rules, dude. Anxiety wants you to play by its rules, but nah, we're going to play by our own rules. We're going to do what we want to do. We're going to live our lives. We're going to accept the fact that we're just triggered right now, that it's going to affect our thinking a little bit, affect our feelings, but it's not the real us. So first and foremost, we're going to accept the state that we're in, and then we're going to play by our own rules. And that's how the brain's going to learn. Instead of dumping gas on the fire, instead of fighting with the state we're in, we're going to accept this trick state, this bluff state, and then play by our own rules. There's a little quick recap of the stream for you. The ice wraiths, oh gosh, they're horrible. They're horrible. You can barely hit them, dude. You can barely hit them. I hate enemies like that in any game, where they're like so fast you can't even hit them. Not necessarily. And the thing about those things in Skyrim, they're actually tough too. Normally, if you have an enemy that's flying around, you can't hit it. It's like a one-hit kill kind of thing. Not those. Sean, dude. Sean. Wait, that's Jesse. That's not Sean. That's got it. Jesse loves to do. That's got to be. Tell me, Sean, was that you or was that Jesse? Thank you so much, whoever that was. The reason I say I think that was Jesse, because Jesse loves to use other people's chat names to send tips, but then he always leaves a tip note that lets me know it's him, because he says, "You're the best king, I would love to serve under you." He was just talking about the King of the North thing, so I know it's got to be Jesse. It's got to be Jesse. I don't know, you guys are tricking me today. But hey, whoever it was, whether it was Jesse or whether it was Sean, alright, I'm on to you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Whoever it was, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that, for real though. Seriously, thank you guys. Broke the tip goal. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I'll always be so grateful for all the support that you guys show me. It means a ton to me. Hello there. Hello. Welcome. 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 I hope you're doing well. Guys, if you're just joining us, if you're late, the stream will be uploaded, assuming that YouTube doesn't glitch up on me again like it did the other day. That's got me paranoid. I don't know why that one stream did that. But assuming that doesn't happen, this stream will be uploaded. Sean is a beast, dude. Hey, I'm gonna accept it. I'm gonna accept it. Thanks to you, we all have a new hope, a new life. No one really knows. Hey, I appreciate that, dude. I really do. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the love, all the support. Thank you for all the love, all the support. It was Jesse Ventura. Hey, whoever it was, dude. I see you. I see you. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whoever it was, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So you can type in whatever name you want when you send a tip if you do it through the link. So Jesse likes to use that to its advantage sometimes. But I don't know. Maybe it was Sean. Either way, I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, guys. We're gonna switch to the post stream real quick. It's not that I can just pull it up on my phone and see where it came from, Jesse. But you know. I appreciate it, dude. I love Jesse, dude. Sometimes I call him the class clown. He really is our class clown, whether it be here or on the Discord. That's why he got his own little special role in the Discord. Yeah, I don't smoke on stream anymore, Jesse, and plus I smoke way less nowadays than I used to. I made a promise to myself in chat that I would cut way back, so... So I'm trying to keep that promise to myself in the chat. I don't smoke in my space anymore, period, even when I'm not streaming. Which makes it way more inconvenient for me to smoke, therefore I smoke less. That was my thinking, and so far it's worked. So far it's worked really well. If you watch some of my older streams, dude, sometimes I would chain smoke back then, like back to back to back. I don't do that shit anymore. I feel way better not doing that shit anymore. Not to mention my personal space just doesn't smell like a bar anymore, which is nice. That's a nice little benefit too, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, I enjoy that part of it. Little things, man, like having a little dance session in post stream. I don't think you guys can hear the music on post stream, but Let's get back in here to the setup. Anxiety wise, feeling like isolating myself and just feel like I'd be happy to stay and live within my own block. Am I thinking too much into my anxiety? Or is personality change as normal anxiety? Seems like I've really changed. So it's not so much that your personality has changed. Let's address that real quick. It's not so much that your personality has changed, but when you're in the anxiety state, right? When you're in the anxiety state, when you're in the swing of the anxiety state, I wouldn't call these personality changes because the real you, the one who's not triggered, the one who's not in the anxiety state, still enjoys all the things that they used to enjoy. You're still who you are as a person, despite the bluff, despite the anxiety state. So I wouldn't personally go around convincing myself that my personality has changed. Because as you start to step out of that anxiety state, as you start to get back into living your life, as the title of this stream says, playing by your own rules, and just accepting that you're in this state where your thinking and your feelings are primed for anxiety, right? Seeing it for the bluff that it is, and then playing by your own rules instead, as your brain starts to catch up and realize, and it realizes that there's no real danger, and you start to come out of this anxiety state, you're going to see for yourself that the real you is always there. Never touched, never broken, has not went anywhere, has not been lost. The real you is still there. So I would not say that these are personality changes. I would say that you're in the anxiety state, right? And as a result of being in the anxiety state, you have kind of limited yourself. You've kind of lost a little bit of confidence, so forth and so on. But I wouldn't say that these are true changes to your personality. You are still who you are as a person before you started dealing with this crap, and you'll always be who you are as a person. The real you is still very much there, no matter how long it has been. But as soon as you start practicing not dumping as much gas on the fire by just accepting that this is a temporary state, that the anxiety is just playing on your body, it's just playing on your mind. And then once you accept that, that's the first thing you got to do. And then you start playing by your own rules in little or big ways. You start getting back into life, you start living, playing by your own rules, and that brain starts to catch up. You'll see that the real you is still there. It's still there. It is still there. You just got to start playing by your own rules. And a lot of times this has to do, we might not necessarily feel like it in the moment, but we know that we're just in this trick state, this bluff state, so we're going to do it anyway. We're just going to do things that we would normally do anyway, even if we have to go slow at first. So I hope that answers your question. How do you say your name, by the way? Is it Cassie? Cassie? Is that right? Yeah, which I mean that's just a metaphor, Sean. That's not like to be taken literally. That's just a metaphor. You go around focusing on what you don't want, then that's gonna, it's gonna affect the way that you feel. So we just need to accept that we're in this temporary state and live how we want to live and play by our own rules. I know how it can definitely make you feel like a different you, but keep playing by your own rules. First and foremost, accept that this state is going to affect the way you feel and think. We have to come to terms with that, and then play by our own rules so that the brain can learn, right? You said the name exactly right, Cassie. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I know it feels like I said, I know this feels like this is like something you're just stuck with. It's not true. That's not true. You keep playing by your own rules, see what happens. Keep playing by your own rules, see what happens. It might take some time, that's fine. Don't put yourself on any stressful time restraints. There's no need for that. All right, guys, we just passed that 1 hour mark, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. It's been a good one, dude. It's been a good one. This absolutely will be uploaded, unless, of course, like I said, YouTube decides to be weird again. This will be uploaded, so if you missed it, you can check it out. Also, guys, I know I'm like beating it to death here, but we are so close. We are so close to the 10K mark. We are so close. So if you're looking for a sign to subscribe, this is it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for all your love and support, and I will see you in the next stream and or video. Until then, stay awesome.